If you'd be seated, thank you. Well, welcome everybody. Good afternoon. So pleased to have you turn out for this wonderful moment that every year we celebrate our most distinguished faculty. And so it's quite an honor to be the MC for this event and to introduce these amazing people to you, many of whom you already know because you work alongside them, or perhaps you help them be as wonderful as they are because you're their family and their friends and their supporters. So thank you for coming out. I'm Marcia Rapley. I'm Senior Vice President of Health Sciences and CEO of the VCU Health System. And it's my pleasure to be the MC because unfortunately Dr. Hackett cannot be with us today, and she sends her congratulations to everyone. And I would like to start by introducing the members of the DS on the platform. So as I call your names, if you would all stand and then remain standing till we finish. Thank you. So Michael Rao, President of VCU and VCU Health System. Donald Young, Interim Dean, College of Humanities and Sciences. Andrew Dare, Dean of Education. Peter Buckley, Dean of Medicine. Susan Parrish, Dean of the College of Health Professions. Nancy Scott, Acting Dean, School of the Arts. Ed Greer, Dean of the School of Business. Dave Surratt, Dean of the School of Dentistry. Susan Gooden, Interim Dean, the L. Douglas Wilder School of Government and Public Relations. Doug Boudinot, Dean of the Graduate School. Barry Falk, Dean of Honors College. Jean Giddens, Dean of the School of Nursing. Cindy Kirkwood, Executive Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, School of Pharmacy. Constance Relihan, Dean of University College. Robert Tomes, Vice Provost, VCU Life Sciences. And Barbara Boyan, Dean of the College of Engineering. Thank you. Other members on the DS will be introduced as we move through the program. We're also pleased to have members of our VCU Board of Visitors and the VCU Health Board of Directors here today. So I'd like to ask them to stand. Will Ben Dendy and Lisa Ellis please stand, two of our board members. Thank you for coming today. And we are also honored to have with us today President Emeritus Jean Trani. If you would stand, please stand, please. Thank you. We have members of the VCU Faculty Senate also, so we'd like our Faculty Senate President, Nancy Jallow, and other Faculty Senate members to stand, please, and be recognized. Thank you. And we'd like all our past award recipients to stand and be recognized. And thank you all for your achievements and support today. So now I'd like to ask our president, Dr. Michael Rao, to the stage.
Thank you, Marcia. Good afternoon. This is a really cool time of the year. I love the opportunity to welcome everyone back, and I certainly enjoyed welcoming our students back and welcoming 6,000 of our new students who are undergraduates to VCU. They are very different than a lot of the students who came before them, and they bring tremendous energy and passion and just a real love for learning that you could feel when you talk with them. They're very excited about what the world can become, and they recognize that they will be a really important part of that. And for us as a faculty, it's our real opportunity to be a part of helping them shape the world and certainly help them through their educational experiences and their research, their clinical experiences, their studio experiences, help them to find what really they love and all of the ways in which they're going to elevate what we call the human experience. So I also want to say thank you to our Vice Rector of the Board of Visitors, Ben Dendy, for taking the time to be here. Lisa Ellis, you're a perfect representative today of the Health System Board, and you're, of course, a member of our faculty as well, and we're delighted that you're here. So this is a big year. It's an interesting year because it's the first full year of this next cycle that we have in our strategic plan. Our strategic plan now is called Quest 2025, and it's off to a great start. It's off to a great start, I think, partly because Quest for Distinction, which was our original plan, did so well. And why did our plan do so well? Our plan really did well because our students are really at the center, and their success are really at the center of that plan. And so much of that really is because of our faculty. There is no question that we could not do what we do in terms of fulfilling this mission without a faculty that is as uniquely committed and dedicated to the success of our students as this faculty is. And I'm very, very proud of that. This is also, I see Meredith sitting over here, who's done a great job of putting together our One VCU master plan. That now kicks off. This is the first physical year and sort of the physical manifestation of the strategic vision that we have for the institution, which is, again, to lift and raise as many lives as we possibly can. And it's also now the third year of our Vision by Design, which is our strategic plan for our very important medical center, our health system. The health system is a critical part of Virginia Commonwealth University. It's one of the ways in which we touch so many people's lives. We certainly save many people's lives every day. And so it's also a way in which both our strategic plans really sort of capture this sense of the importance of access. We are a public good. We're proud of that. And it's important that we remain accessible. It's also important that we remain committed to efficient and great timely outcomes for our students and for our patients. And again, I know we couldn't do any of what I just described without all of you in this room, and certainly all of our colleagues who aren't here. This year, it's really very interesting, I think a real reflection of the world and the ways in which the world continues to move. I mentioned our 6,000 new undergraduate students, and by the way, about 2,000 other new professional and graduate students joining us in this fall term. But certainly of the undergraduates, about 57% now are minority. And I think that's a wonderful statement about the extent to which VCU continues to be a destination for all human beings who want to make the world a better place. It is actually our most diverse class that we've ever had. And, together, our faculty has just done an incredible job of helping shape VCU into what Gail Hackett, our provost, frequently refers to as a 21st century research university. We are really on that path, on the path to shaping a research university into the kind of place that a lot of research universities have had a hard time thinking about moving. Most institutions are very proud of their resilience in higher education. We're proud of the fact that we are moving with people, and I'm very, very grateful that that is inclusive of everyone and pretty much everywhere. Our research mission continues to be very important to us because it's one of the ways in which we touch so many people's lives. And we do a lot of research that really is very difficult. We like to solve the most difficult problems. I said that in a State of the University address a few years ago, and we remain very committed to that. We will solve the most perplexing problems that often disproportionately impact the people who are the most disadvantaged, because those are often not the most popular things to do, but they're very, very important. We continue to be committed to social mobility, and we continue to be committed to social justice. And you will see that threaded through all of our research. And in the next few months, after our deans and our other faculty leadership continue to get together to talk about the vision, a more focused vision for research, you'll see social justice threaded throughout and ways in which we can continue to raise the human experience so that we can make it a stronger experience for everyone, including those who may have been excluded historically. I'm very, very proud today that we come together to recognize 6 of our colleagues. If we could, we'd recognize a whole lot more. I do want to say thank you to all of our previous award recipients, those who we've had the opportunity to recognize for your great distinction. And whether it's you or whether it's the new 6 that we recognize today, you really inspire all of us. And Having been here so long now, one of the things I really enjoy is pretty much knowing almost everybody who's here on the stage, and knowing what they do and watching over the years the ways in which they contribute to other people's lives, and in very, very positive ways. I said to one of our recipients today, actually it's two of them, they to me really represent sort of perfectly everything I think of when I think of VCU. And part of what I think of VCU is what I hear from so many of our alumni, from whom I'm now trying to raise a lot of money. And one of the things that they say is, they went to a different place to get a master's degree, or they had gone someplace else to get a bachelor's degree and then got their medical degree here or whatever. And they say, in hindsight, there was really no place like VCU. And I said, what do you mean by that? And they said, almost all of them say, there's really just no one who cares about you like the faculty at VCU. And so we can really never do enough to celebrate this faculty, and to find 6 of you a year who we can recognize and say you are among our most accomplished is saying, you're not here, you are here. And I don't want to stretch and hurt myself, but you know what I mean. That happens as you get older. But in any case, or at least as I get older. But today we have an opportunity to really recognize our faculty colleagues who have just tremendously diverse passions and experiences. And one really great thing in common, that is an unshakable commitment to the people who benefit from our mission and our vision. In all contexts, teaching, research, service, and of course care, and all of the ways in which we enhance people's lives, whether it's solving important problems, perplexing problems, or just enhancing people's lives through our creativity and our innovation. I'm so proud of my faculty colleagues, and continue to find every way we can I will continue to find every way that I can to celebrate and recognize the great work. Most importantly, I thank our colleagues for being so selfless and so committed to a mission that ultimately, I think when you look back, you'll realize the number of lives you've touched, and the ways in which you have helped shape not just Richmond, not just the Commonwealth of Virginia, but really the world. So with that, let's get on to our program, and I'm excited to learn a little bit more and to show you a little bit more about our 6 great distinguished colleagues who we will recognize and celebrate today. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, President Rao. So it's my pleasure now to introduce Donald Young, our interim dean of the College of Humanities and Sciences, and he will come forward and announce the recipient of the 2019 University Award of Excellence.
Thank you, Dr. Rapley. It is my pleasure to present this year's University of Excellence Award of Excellence to Dr. John Kneebone, retired Associate Professor of History in the College of Humanities and Sciences. Here's a short video in which Dr. Kneebone describes how engaging in the study of our past supports our future, and how VCU as an urban university inspires collaboration, service, and the teaching of history.
I've always really enjoyed studying history, making sense of the past and how it affects us in the present. The more you know about the past, the more complicated it becomes and the more difficult it is to come up with a glib, quick opinion. We're constantly reassessing and changing our estimates of what the past meant. Debating about the meaning of history, interpreting it, I think is a very healthy thing for democracy. We have to figure out ways of getting along. A deeper understanding of our place makes it easier to have understanding for our neighbors who may differ from us. VCU is an urban university. And if you're teaching history in Richmond, you've got the city as a supplemental textbook. And we put a value on community service. That opens the way for collaboration with other institutions. The best thing for me about VCU is the multitude of collaborations
We are proud of Dr. Kneebone's lifetime work and honor his many achievements today. President Rao, will you please escort Dr. Kneebone to the podium to accept the award?
I think we're going to take a photograph over here.
Okay, there I was extolling collaborations for a video for an event honoring individuals. Now, it's true at the university we do work as individuals. We struggle to make sense of ambiguous data, to find meaning or experimental results, transform a pile of notes into prose to solve a problem, to make words cohere on a blank screen. But even then, we never work alone. Take my field, history, where the academic gold standard for tenure and promotion for reputation is the monograph, the single author scholarly book. Yet open up any of those monographs, and you'll find an acknowledgement section with well-deserved thanks to archivists and librarians who made the project possible, for friends and scholars who provided advice and criticism of the manuscript, and then turn to the back, to the bibliography and to the endnotes, and to all of those people, contemporaries and predecessors, who created the foundation that the monograph rests upon. And every monograph becomes part of the foundation for future monographs. So yes, we work as individuals, but we're all part of a vast, invaluable, ongoing human enterprise, dedicated through scholarship, teaching, and service to making the future. I'm fortunate to be able to participate in that enterprise, and I'm grateful to all the people with whom I've been able to collaborate. All the amazing students, my co-author, Dr. Trani, my history colleagues at VCU and at the Library of Virginia, my colleagues at public history institutions across the region, and my colleagues across the university. It's been a pleasure. Best of all, collaborations are loving collaborations across time. Thanks to Dean of Libraries, John Olmschneider, for 45 years of friendship and being a role model for me. Thanks also to my dear brother, Tim Neiman, who's here today with us from California, and to my sister, Nancy Arias in Albuquerque, New Mexico, who's not here but promises to watch the live screen. I love you, Nance. And most of all, my chief collaborator and my spouse, Elizabeth Roderick. This summer on July 10th, the baseball pitcher and author Jim Bouton died at the age of 80. 50 years ago, he published a candid memoir entitled Ball 4, Classic. And in the book, he said that he chastised himself for going onto the field some days and not feeling the excitement, not feeling the privilege of being part of the game. As he put it, he was forgetting to tingle. Now, we live in vexing times with pessimism often seeming the best bet for the future. But I do believe the work that we do here gives a hope. To borrow from the ending of George Eliot's Middlemarch, our unhistoric acts here can be incalculably diffusive. Proof is in the other honors that's going on today. So as we go out from this convocation to our collaborative enterprises and individual work, whether it be on the way to a laboratory, to a clinic, to a classroom, to a meeting, to an office, don't forget to tingle. Thank you.
So Dean Young will now return to the podium and introduce the recipient of the 2019 Distinguished Scholarship Award.
Thank you. It is my honor to present this year's Distinguished Scholarship Award to Dr. John Ryan, professor in the Department of Biology in the College of Humanities and Sciences and Associate Vice President for Research Development in the Office of Research and Innovation. Now, please join me in viewing a short video in which Dr. Ryan shares how his work serves as a piece of the puzzle that contributes to the improvement of patient care and trains the next generation of scientists.
When it comes to things like asthma and arthritis that are driven by the immune response, I like asking questions related to how we control inflammation. While it's true that the patients that suffer with these diseases and the hope for treatment is very motivating, at a fundamental level, I think all scientists just enjoy solving puzzles. All of us are contributing pieces to a larger puzzle. And it may not be our group that gets the credit for some of these things, but as long as we're contributing to the overall improvement of patient care, then that's a big success. Everybody that's come through here, really, really values research. They've always helped me when I've needed help. We have great colleagues. I mean, there's something like 36 institutes and centers here. You could pretty much always find somebody who can help you answer a question. You're training the next generation of scientists. And when you stop to think about how many people that have come through VCU and trained here, and then they're all over the country, all over the world doing really neat things, you feel like, wow, I contributed some small part of that to this huge ripple effect. And that's really inspiring.
For his successful leadership and excellence in scholarly activity, we are pleased to honor Dr. Ryan today. President Rao, will you please escort Dr. Ryan to the podium to accept the award?
I'll escort.
Thank you all so much for this fantastic honor. It's one of those capstone achievements in a career you'll never forget. I need to acknowledge a bunch of people, the administration, especially my boss, Dr. Derek Johnson, sitting right here that nominated me. My wife, Claudia, is in the front row. And we've been together since we were teenagers, so she has seen the full-length motion picture, including the lowlights. She's definitely seen the lowlights. All three of my kids, one who squeaked into the back and was zipping here, they have skipped classes all over the state to be here today. Thank you. They are the kind of people I aspire to be. My mom is here in the second row. My parents had this fantastic way of raising kids, which is the 1-2 punch of unconditional love and high expectations. So do something important, but you better be nice while you're doing it. It's a great way to raise people. I really need to acknowledge the people who do the work. There's 40 past trainees in the lab. They've taken over the middle row here, some of them, the current trainees. Lots of collaborators, but number one on that list is Mr. Brian Barnstein, also here today. He's been with the lab 17 years and is the reason the work gets done. I had the fantastic good fortune of wandering in here in 1988 and doing my Ph.D. work with Dr. Tom Huff. His wife, May Ligon, is here in the second row. And many of you know Tom, and you probably loved him too, and you know that he passed away unexpectedly, broke my heart. But everything I do in my lab is somehow connected to something that Tom taught me, everything. And so I would certainly wouldn't be the scientist I am, I wouldn't even be the man I am without having him in my life. And I get to do something fantastically fun today because I'm from Richmond. So two of my high school teachers, y'all stand up real quick. Coach Bruce Bowen and Miss Pat Rollison, that's right. Thank you. Yes. So Bruce Bowen, who I only call Coach, was my cross-country coach all through high school and my homeroom teacher. In senior year, when I stress fractured my hip, the day that practice started, literally, my season was over before it began, and I learned the lesson that sometimes there are no second chances and you should not assume that you'll always get to do something again. I wandered into Pat Rollison's physics class in a total funk and learned two things. One, I should probably stick to biology. Physics is not my subject. But two, I came across a person who was so enthusiastic about science, it was completely infectious. And between learning persistence as a distance runner and enthusiasm for science, it definitely, I think back, I'm like, that's what launched me in this direction. So I wanted to thank them so much for being here. Thank you.
Our next award is the 2019 Distinguished Teaching Award, and Dr. Young will return to the podium to introduce this year's recipient. His college did well this year.
I should be counting my steps today. Thank you. It's my pleasure to present this year's Distinguished Teaching Award to Dr. Karen Kester, Associate Professor in the Department of Biology in the College of Humanities and Sciences. Here's a short video in which Dr. Kester conveys her joy of teaching and the value of experiential learning, especially through the research of insects in nature.
I really find insects fascinating. And so I enjoy sharing that passion with other people. Most of the students who take my entomology class either hate insects or are afraid of insects. So I tell them I'm going to change their view of the world. And when you get more in touch with nature, then you want to take care of nature. My research, I can see its important applications. This genus of wasps, they're important biological control agents. I love my research, but I love my teaching and I love my students. The broader aspect of teaching, of education, is to open someone's mind and to get them to see things differently. I like to jog them to get back in touch with the joy of learning and not just taking tests and making grades. Most people learn best hands-on by doing, but here we had the opportunity to have the city. So stuff that I've been doing at a really small scale, now it's a cool thing that the whole university does. So of course I love being here. It's a good fit with my values and my perspective of teaching and education.
For her excellence in teaching, we are pleased to honor Dr. Kester today. President Rao, will you please escort Dr. Kester to the podium to accept the award?
I'm surprised at how emotional I am. I hate these things usually, but that's an indication of how meaningful this is to me. It is wonderful to be recognized for doing what one loves. That's just, there's no better feeling, okay? I want to thank all of the people who were involved in the nomination process. That includes a lot of faculty members who gave time, awards committee in my department, people who contributed statements of support, people in the community. You can see some of the pictures of some of the stuff. My students and I, we go out and we share what we know about insects with the public. My chair, Dr. Derek Johnson, the members of the college committee, and former Dean Montse Fuentes. They were all involved in the nomination process. And then I thank the wonderful university peer committee that selected me. I was amazed. Also, but most importantly, I want to thank the students, because the students are the ones who inspire me. And everyone doesn't understand, but teaching is a two-way process, an interaction. You don't just get up and say things, and how well you say things is an indication of how good a teacher you are. It's the relationship, the interaction you develop in the classroom and outside. And so the students here, I love VCU because of the students. That's why I came here. That's why I stayed here. There was a time I was thinking about leaving. It's why I continue to love to be here. So I want to thank students. I want to thank, I was surprised to find that some prior faculty members and friends are here, and even some Bridges students are here. Thank you, Sarah, for inviting them. And so I'm just so delighted. And I want to end on the fact that when I was walking over here from teaching entomology, I thought about something that my little Italian grandmother told me. And when I told her, yes, I was the second one in 42, that had 42 first cousins, okay? I was the second one to go to college. And I told her, I'm going back and whatever. And she said, well, what are you going to study? I said, I'm going to study insects. She said, bugs? You're going to study bugs? why don't you do something useful like teaching or nursing? And it turns out you can do both. So thank you.
So Dr. Young, would you please return to the podium and introduce this year's recipient of the 2019 Distinguished Service Award.
Gladly. Thank you, Dr. Rapley. It is my honor to present this year's Distinguished Service Award to June Nicholson, Professor of Journalism and Director of Graduate Studies in the Robertson School of Media and Culture. Now, please join me in viewing a short video in which Professor Nicholson discusses her passions for journalism and challenging her students to step outside their comfort zone to learn about others.
I've had a deep passion for journalism and its role in our democracy, and indeed as an essential in our civil society. We're bombarded with so many sources of information and kinds of information. Journalism is really about helping the public understand complex issues. It's a public good. VCU and the community surrounding it reflects many of the issues that exist in urban areas around the country. And my students have covered all of those things and so much more. I asked them to go out into the community itself, to get out of their comfort zones, to learn and discover how other people live and what they think, to go out and report on complex issues wherever they may land. I have tried to teach them about the highest standards of our field. Many of my students have gone on to work as top reporters and editors at some of the best news organizations in the USA and around the world.
Today, we are proud to honor Professor Nicholson's outstanding accomplishments in service. President Rao, will you please escort Professor Nicholson to the podium to accept this award?
We've been keeping Don very busy today. I don't know if he'll get a break or not, but good afternoon, faculty, colleagues, fellow award recipients, distinguished guests, members of the VCU community and broader community. I'm truly deeply honored by this distinguished faculty award. As you can tell, all of us who are award recipients today are very passionate about our fields. My career path became concrete when I was a student at UNC Chapel Hill in the era of the civil rights and anti-Vietnam War movements. Students at universities, including UNC, became some of the most influential and strongest voices in powering forward those movements during a tumultuous period of our nation's history. But journalism and storytelling have always existed since humans began exploring their surroundings and building hunter-gatherer communities. The changes in forms of dissemination and distribution in this digital age have shaken our old models, and surely even more intriguing and sophisticated means of communication than we have now, including our smartphones, to which we all are addicted, will be the norm in the future. But good journalism will always be needed. We have seen over history that the press has a vital role to play as the watchdog of government, as well as the watchdog of institutions and corporations, and higher education as well. Our system of checks and balances is made stronger by the presence of a vibrant and free press, and our world is much stronger by the work of journalists, many of whom risk their lives in pursuit of truth. I'm extraordinarily curious about what comes next. And we do need these young, brilliant minds of the students we teach in our classrooms in the School of Media and Culture that I'm a part of and across VCU. We need those young entrepreneurs, visionaries, leaders to pioneer us into the next era of journalism and deeper storytelling to give meaning and clarity to our increasingly complex society. VCU has afforded me and so many of you in the audience this afternoon has provided us with the opportunity to do our work in a rich, diverse urban environment. I'm supremely confident that what we do here at VCU is, as it should be, the most important mission of the modern 21st century urban research university in combining high-impact teaching, scholarship, and service with the goal of transforming communities and building new knowledge as we educate the next generation. Some of the work that has been the most rewarding to me has been with journalists and educators around the country and world. And much of those efforts, many of those efforts, I have worked in consultation with my most esteemed colleagues here in the VCU Robertson School of Media and Culture. I extend today immense thanks for their hard work and inspiration every day. I especially thank Professor Marcus Mesner, interim director of the school and a colleague with whom I've worked for more than a dozen years. And Dr. Hong Chang, former director, has become just recently the dean of the communications program at Loyola University in Chicago. And I thank all of my other wonderful, talented, gifted colleagues, too numerous to name, some not here and who are now at other universities, but they inspire me still every day. Also thanks to my extraordinarily fine faculty senate colleagues. A number of them are here today from the School of Social Work, Mary Secret, I hope, Holly Alford of the School of the Arts, Scott Street, Humanities and Sciences, Nancy Jallow of the School of Nursing, current president, and Mary Secret of the School of Social Work is a great friend and collaborator in the Senate and University Council, especially on issues of shared governance. And thanks to Dr. Rao, the president of VCU, to Dr. Rapley, and other members of the administration for their strong support of faculty and collaborative working relationship they have with the Senate and with the faculty of this university in strengthening VCU as an institution. Most importantly, I would like to thank my husband, Bob. I think he made it. He was teaching himself quantitative statistics this afternoon. I'm glad to give him a break from that. He is a faculty member in economics and former associate dean at the University of Richmond School of Business. He's been a full partner and anchor in everything I have achieved. My daughter Bryn and family could not be here. My daughter cannot travel given that our third grandchild, a girl, is due to be born any day, maybe any minute. So Bob and I may have to speed away from the Convocation to the Research Triangle of North Carolina where they live. My two other grandchildren, a boy, 4, and girl who just turned 2 yesterday, or she had a birthday yesterday, are an absolute thrill. And I know the third baby, yet to be named, will be as well. Finally, to our faculty at VCU, to all of you here, to staff, and to our colleagues and collaborators, wherever they may be. Maybe this, as a faculty member, is your first convocation as a new member of the VCU faculty. I will tell you that this is one of the most special places you will ever work, and I suspect you've heard that, but it's true. There are challenges in all of higher education today, and we have a multitude of problems to solve on the planet for all of humanity. But be bold, eager, intrepid. Leave your comfort zones, cross disciplinary boundaries, natural boundaries, national boundaries, virtual boundaries. Break the barriers. Find those students, and so many of them are students who hunger for knowledge and mentorship. You'll find them eager, you'll find them passionate, you'll find them just absolutely wonderful partners in all that you do as faculty here. Break the barriers. For every challenge, you will find opportunity, eager team members and strategic partners to do the things that may seem unattainable. But for all of you here, just remember that the most important work is not what we have done, but what we do tomorrow. Thank you for this awesome recognition.
Our next award is the 2019 Outstanding Early Career Faculty Award, and I asked the Dean of the School of Education, Andrew Dare, to come forward and introduce this year's recipient.
Thank you, Dr. Rapley. It is my honor to present this year's Outstanding Early Career Faculty Award to Dr. Christine Bay, Assistant Professor of Educational Psychology in the Department of Foundations of Education in the VCU School of Education. Here's a short video in which Dr. Bay describes how she uses her research in science education to advance equity in the public school system and prepare Richmond and other students to think and grow in exciting classrooms.
I'm Korean American, and I continue to benefit from the sacrifices of my grandmothers. Based on that history, my parents from an early age instilled in me the value of education. There are systemic inequities in our K-12 public education system. How can we create learning environments for all students that are exciting, that are inspiring? Science classrooms is such an exciting place to study learning. Science is a subject where you are learning to read and write and think critically and communicate your ideas. The major goal of this project is to get kids to talk science in classrooms, to get them excited about making sense of complicated ideas so that they develop scientific literacy. I have the advantage in the School of Education of being surrounded by faculty who are deeply committed, and being around them day in and day out really challenges me to be reflective about how my work is making a positive impact serving the students and families in Richmond.
We're so very proud to honor Dr. Bay's exceptional accomplishments. President Rao, will you please escort Dr. Bay to the podium to accept this award?
Thank you so much. I'm incredibly honored. I am a little bit nervous to be speaking to you all right now, but mostly I am humbled as I reflect on all of the people who have been part of my personal and professional journey. My accomplishments have very little to do with me, but everything to do with the opportunities that were put in front of me and my family, my friends, colleagues, students, mentors who have supported me throughout the years. First and foremost, thank you, Mom. She's sitting right here. Despite spending 17 days with me traveling all over Europe, she still made the flight out here to attend today. And hi to Dad and Grandma who are watching from Toronto. I love you all very much. Thank you, Dean Dare, and my department chair, Dr. Micah Phillipson, who I see in the back, for your leadership as we collectively combat long-standing inequities in education, and as we also are navigating new demands of the K-12 and higher education systems. Of course, also for the recommendation and renewal of my contract, so that I can continue doing what I love for another year. That brings me to my early career colleagues and friends. Thank you guys so much for walking this sometimes scary road we call tenure track. I can't imagine going through it without all of you. And then finally, thank you to my colleagues and students at the School of Education who make it a mission-driven workplace fiercely committed to improving the lives of families and children in our community. In my short time at VCU, I've witnessed exciting progress made towards improving the educational opportunities for all kids. Yes, much of this work is supported by lots of dollars from external funding, so quick thank you NSF, IES, NIH, US Department of Education, all of the funding agencies that are supporting our work, and I believe as we speak we're submitting 7 proposals that are due today. But this work ultimately wouldn't be possible or successful without the collective dedication, innovation, and relentless effort of faculty in and outside of VCU who are partnering with K-12 educators to ensure that every child has access to a great education. I'm so grateful to work with colleagues who value rigor and empiricism in their scholarship, but also deeply understand and take very seriously that our work inherently carries moral and real practical implications for students who are often left voiceless in our society. It is my privilege to do work that advocates for all students and to be part of the critical mission to strengthen public education. Thank you so much.
And finally, this afternoon, I asked School of Medicine Dean Peter Buckley to come to the podium and present our last award, the 2019 Outstanding Term Faculty Award.
Thank you, Dr. Rapley. It's a great pleasure to present this year's Outstanding Term Faculty Award to Dr. Lisa Brath, who is Professor of Medicine in the Pulmonary and Critical Care Division of the Department of Medicine at VCU School of Medicine. Congratulations, Lisa. Please join me as we watch a brief video illustrating Lisa's gratitude for all her work with her patients as well as opportunities with learners. Thank you, Lisa.
The ability to connect with people on a daily basis and to hope that in some small way I can make a difference. I can't think of any job that would be more satisfying than that. I could only touch so many people in my life. But in teaching others, whether it be my learners or my patients, I could touch the lives of people that I would never meet. The thing that gives me the most gratitude is when I count the number of our former learners who are now educators, respected, recognized, awarded in their own right. The one role that's probably had the greatest impact clearly was my role as the medical director of the Unique Pathogens Unit, or the Ebola Unit. We were one of the first 35 designated Ebola treatment centers. The lessons that we've learned there, while they were specific for Ebola, are making everything that we do, even at the bedside now, better from a patient safety standpoint. It's that same attention to detail that's going to make a difference. This place has a way of getting under your skin and makes you want to do better as a person.
Terrific. Congratulations, Lisa. Dr. Rao, would you escort Lisa to the podium to receive this award?
It's good to go last and see that other people need notes. When I first heard that the Department of Medicine wanted to nominate me for this award, I said, no, thank you. Thank you, but no thank you. There are so many other deserving people. In fact, Kurt, I think I said that a couple times. I'm not really big on individual recognition, or maybe more specifically, I'm not comfortable with my own individual recognition. Honestly, I'd be much more comfortable and less stressed if I were where I was supposed to be this afternoon, and that's in the ICU, full of unstable, critically ill patients. That would be less stressful. But I'm here, and I am incredibly humbled and overwhelmed by this award, particularly when I think about the fantastic people that I work with every day in the School of Medicine and the health system, those who've been my mentors, my role models, my partners, my team members, my friends. When I first came to VCU, then very clearly MCV, straight out of medical school in the summer of 1988, brand new intern starting in the medical respiratory ICU, all I was trying to do was figure out how I was going to survive my first night on call. I never would have foreseen that I would still be here 30 plus years later, much less still trying to fill the shoes of those whom I so admired and tried to emulate, those who made me who I am today. I've been really fortunate, as I think everyone up here has said, to be surrounded by others who have believed in me, who've recognized abilities in me that I didn't know I had, who trusted in me enough to put me in positions that let me make a difference. There are so many things right in front of us every day that deserve our attention, and I'm not easily able to just stand by and assume someone else will take care of it. So either because I've been called upon or because I raised my hand, I've worn a lot of different hats, often simultaneously. From medical directorships in the hospital to leadership roles in graduate medical education within our division, our department, to being part of the medical team for the UCI 2015 Cycling Championship. All to the point that my pulmonary critical care fellows frequently tease me that I need a bigger hat rack. But none of this could have happened without my support system. So to my family who grabbed the front row, I love you guys. My coworkers, I see a bunch of you guys out here, my eternal gratitude. And special thanks to you, Shelley, for putting up with crazy work hours, interrupted vacations, middle of the night phone calls, even when I'm not on call. I consider myself incredibly fortunate to be part of the VCU community, and I'm humbled to be recognized for doing what I think is just doing my job. Thank you.
So before we give our thanks and show a round of applause to all of our recipients, there's one more group that we need to recognize. And on behalf of Virginia Commonwealth University, I would like to ask the friends and the families of all of those who won these amazing awards today and told their amazing stories, please stand, because without you, none of this would have happened. So now, on behalf of the VCU faculty at large, I would like to thank all of the people that you heard from today that won these awards. We've heard humility, we've heard deep passion, but more than anything else, we heard people who dedicated their lives to making a difference in the lives of others. And that is a moving story to tell. And it gives us faith and energy to go back and do what we do every day. Because every one of our faculty members, all of you here today, the staff who support you, the students who learn from you, you carry these values as well. And you carry them forward out into the world. And we're enormously proud of all of you. So thank you for doing that. And I also want to thank our student musicians who are here today. They're the after dinner mitts. So thank you for playing for us today. And I'd like to give a special thanks to our American Sign Language interpreters, so for your work with us today. Thank you very much. So this brings our ceremony to a close. And please, I'd like to ask you if you would stay seated and give the recessional platform party a chance to exit. And we invite you to join us in a reception in the lobby area immediately following. Thank you very much.